If I would ask you the question, do you want to achieve your goals faster? Most men that are in the slightest ambitious would say yes to this question. And I'm not talking about creating faster results from a place of anxiety, as in, I feel behind in life and now I need to achieve my goals faster because then I'm finally worthy as a man. I'm not talking about this type of creation. The place that I'm referring to is creating faster results from a place of excitement and curiosity, as in, what am I capable of as a man in this world? How far can I take this thing? Because now you start to explore the fullest of your potential from a place of curiosity. And you know what it feels like if you do the opposite in your life, when you are operating below your potential, when you are playing it small. You're going through the motions of life, you're coasting. What does that feel like? And the dangerous thing is that you are still outperforming the people around you. You are still outperforming your peers. And they will tell you, you are doing incredible. How are you doing this? How are you creating so much results in your life? And if you are a real high performer, this will frustrate you. Yes, it's nice to receive these acknowledgements, but you know that you're operating far from what you're capable of. So these kind of comments, they highlight the gap between where you are at right now and where you could be. And this confrontation, seeing this gap, this will eat you alive. And that's why you need to make a shift in your life. And you can make the shift by speeding things up, by challenging yourself. The main reason why men start working with me is to create faster results. It's because of this speed element. It's not because they're incapable of achieving their goals. They can achieve their goals without me. They are inspiring, high-performing men. The thing that they are looking for is, how can I achieve my goals faster? How can I create the impossible while still experiencing this fulfillment, this freedom, and this peace, and this fun in life? How can I create harmony between these two elements? Because why would you take 3 years on achieving your goals if you can do it in 1? Why would you take 1 year on achieving your goals if you can do it in 3 months? And I know these numbers sound crazy, but this is what is available to you. You are able to create something like this in your life. And in this video, I'll share 3 ways with you how you can achieve your goals faster. And before I go into the 3 ways, I'm going to share with you a core component that must be present in your life. Otherwise, the likelihood of you speeding things up is very low. And this core component is challenge. You must experience challenge. And this can show up as in, you need pressure, stress, tension, uncomfortable feelings, fear, uncertainty, not knowing what to do. You need to experience these things to speed things up in your life, to create faster results. Most men, they operate in their comfort zone. And that comfort zone is not what's comfortable for them. It is operating in what you know. It is operating in what is familiar to you. And when you operate in what you know, you're not going to grow. You need to take a leap outside of your comfort zone because that's where the most amount of growth is. And we all know this. You know that growth is outside of your comfort zone. But it's very important to be aware of the fact that when you are choosing speed in your life, you are choosing discomfort. You're choosing stress, pressure, fear, uncertainty. You are choosing these things. Most men that I talk to, they are excited, they are committed to speeding things up, but the moment they experience fear, the moment they don't know what to do, they run away and hide and they go back to their old selves, to the life that they've always been living. And that's why you need to become aware of the fact that you are supposed to experience these things. Don't create a negative relationship with them, that when you experience fear, something is wrong. Because you are supposed to feel all of these things in the process when you want to speed things up in life. So the first way that I wanted to share with you is 10xing your goal. So when you want to achieve your goals faster, 10x your goal. And you can do this with your yearly goals. You can do this with your quarterly goals. And what this, for example, looks like is put a 0 behind the thing that you're trying to achieve. So if you try to create an extra 1K a month, what would an extra 10K a month look like? Because this is a huge stretch. Sometimes 10xing could also mean, how can I earn the same amount of money in half the time? How can I impact 10x as much people? Sometimes the goal completely changes when you 10x it. So when I look at my handstands, for example, with 2 hands, I could do all kinds of moves and transitions. And when I looked at 10xing my goal, I committed to creating circus level mastery. So I committed to the 1-arm handstand, the 1-arm flag, and all of these moves. So the goal can also change when you 10x it. And the reason why you want to 10x it is because it forces you outside of your comfort zone. Now you must operate in the things that you don't know. Because when you double your goal, when you triple your goal, you're still operating in what you know. Oh, let me do twice as much work. Let me do 3 times as much work. Or let me make these small adjustments to maybe achieve my goal. But when you 10x your goal, you don't know how to achieve it. And this is the core reason why most people don't 10x their goals. Because of the fear that immediately comes up. When you 10x your goals, immediately the fear comes up. I don't have the money. I don't know the people. How do I do this? I don't know how to achieve this. And not knowing is a very uncomfortable feeling to stay with. So that's why people very quickly go back to, okay, let me just double my goal. And let me go and operate in my comfort zone again. But that's why you want to stay with these uncomfortable feelings. You are supposed to not know how to achieve this, because that's why you want to 10x your goals. It will break your current systems. Your current systems are not capable of achieving the 10x version of your goal. It will completely destroy who you think you are, because you are forced to become someone different in the process to achieve a 10x goal. This is where the speed element happens, when you become someone different in the process. And that's why you need a goal that stretches you so much that it forces you to become someone different. Because that new version is able to access the strategies that you couldn't see before. And that is what the process looks like. But when you, for example, 10x your goal, I don't want you to just write it down on your laptop or on a piece of paper and think, oh, this looks nice. This looks like a nice 10x goal. But there is no commitment here. When you hold it loosely, where is the commitment? That's why I'm often happy when you experience fear and when you experience all of these feelings, because now there is a connection with the goal. You feel inside of your body if you committed to the 10x goal or if you just did it for fun. Let me just write it down for fun. You feel in your body that you committed, because what would it feel like? If you have your 10x goal in front of you, what does it feel like if you radically commit? If you would do whatever it takes to make it happen? What does that feel like? Because that's the leap that you want to be making. And that also brings me to way number 2, which is take a leap before you are ready. And you can also call this take a leap of faith, take the risk, make the jump before you are ready. Most men, they are waiting for the perfect circumstances. When I have the money saved up, then I'll start this business, or then I'll start traveling. When I have the network of people, when I have the skills, when I have the certification, when I have the clarity, when I have the plan, when I have the confidence, you name it, everything. When I have this thing, then I'll do this. But you want to remove all these conditions and requirements, because they are there just to keep you safe, just to protect you, because conditions, the circumstances, they will never be perfect. And you want to start doing the thing immediately right now. This is how you speed things up. Take action before you are ready. Make the jump before you are ready. So I'll give you 2 examples of this, and also why it's important to even operate in life like this. It is fun. You will create beautiful adventures in life when you take risks like that. So it's not just about, oh, let me achieve my goals faster. It is exciting. It is fun, because now you start to explore life in a way that you've never experienced before. So one example is when I organized a men's retreat in Wales. So I did this together with an incredible coach. And the way that we went about it is we looked at the dates, we looked at a location, and we booked it. We booked the location before we had any signups, before we had a plan in general. The first thing that we did was booking the location. And then we started to create. We were forced to create from that place, because otherwise we would lose all the money. So this is what a leap of faith looks like. I'm going to commit and I'll create from there. Instead of let me have all the people signed up, let me have all the money, let me have everything perfectly laid out, and then I'll book the location and then we'll make it happen. This is slowing you down. So start with the end immediately right now. And to give you an example that is related to this, there was a guy coming to that retreat as well. And that guy, he was not in the best financial position. He was trying to make his business work for 5 years, probably way more, but for 5 years, and he couldn't make it happen. And he was coming from the US. So he was, for the first time, traveling outside of the US to, in this case, the UK, to Wales. He didn't even have the finances to commit to an intensive like that. So what do you do in your life when you don't have the finances for something, but you really want to do something? Most people, I almost messed it up, but most people, they stop there. Oh, I don't have the money. Oh, I can't do it. And they stop. But how resourceful are you really if you only focus on the resources that you have and don't have? This is a place of scarcity that you operate from. If you start to operate from a place of abundance, are you able to make it happen no matter what? That's the place that you want to create from. And he made it happen. He got very creative to make the money to get to the intensive. And the intensive is a 6-day in-person immersion combined with a group coaching program and one-on-one coaching. So it's very intense. That's why it's called an intensive. So when he made that leap, his whole life was shaken up already by making that commitment. And of course, we challenged him hard to do certain things that he has never done before related to his business. Within 1.5 months after the commitment, he closed 3 clients at a 2K price point in 1 week time. He had never done this before in his life. He maybe closed a few people at a few hundred. And now he could see like, holy shit, this is possible. So now he just repeated the system and he was able to go full-time with his business. All because he was willing to take a leap of faith and to make it happen no matter what and to make it work no matter what. That is what is waiting for you after that leap, after that risk. But what is your leap? So I gave you 2 examples. If you would really take a moment to connect to what is your leap right now? What is that risk? Would you organize that event that you really want to organize? And you just set a date, you get the location, and you start connecting with people. And you start inviting people. Maybe your leap is signing up for the program, signing up for the mentorship, signing up for the coaching. Maybe it's stopping with watching content online on how to create content and you post your first video online. Sometimes it's also showing up in small things, in taking a risk. This is how you speed things up in life. If you look at your dating life, you want to improve your dating, stop watching all the content on how to talk to women, go out and approach women and start talking to them, start experiencing the thing. So start experiencing the thing as fast as possible. Don't wait for the certification, start the business right now. Don't wait until you have all the money saved up to travel right now. Book the one-way ticket and figure it out as you go. That's where you will learn the most. Because what kind of life do you want to live? What kind of life do you want to look back at? Do you want to look back at your life and think, I played it so safe in life. Oh my God, I was so certain I knew exactly what was going to happen. Like, you don't want to talk about your life like that. You want your life to be a crazy adventure. Even though you fall flat on your face and you picked yourself back up and you took another risk and you went on another adventure, that's the kind of life that you want to be living. Yes, it's scary in the moment. It's part of the process, but you can also get familiar with this. This is a skill that you can learn. To get familiar with the pressure and the tension. And the more uncertainty you're able to handle, the faster results you will create in life. The more pressure you're able to handle, the more stress. And the more pressure like this you expose yourself to, the more it becomes normal to you. So the thing that once felt impossible for you can also become your new standard in life. And then you jump to the next level again. So that's why there will always be pressure if you commit to speeding things up and when you commit to growth. And what feels impossible right now can become your standard if you commit to it and if you stay with the uncomfortable feelings. So this is way number 2. Way number 3 is get coaching and mentorship. Because when you take a leap of faith, when you operate in the unknown, there are so many questions. There's not just the external things as in figuring out what do I do, how do I do this, what is going to happen, but it's also the internal pressure that you have to navigate as well. All the fears comes up, all the questions, am I able to do this? What if this doesn't work out? So how do you navigate the external and the internal with a transition like this? If you have to do this by yourself, this is so extremely challenging. So this is the reason why people get coaching. Because how do you navigate this all by yourself? Yes, eventually you're able to figure this out. But why would you spend so much time figuring things out all by yourself if you can reduce the time significantly in doing it together with someone? And this is where you have to swallow your pride. This is where you have to put your ego to the side and ask for help. This doesn't even have to be coaching, but you need to ask for help. This can also be for free. Like, who do you know that could help you and support you in this process? If I look back at my life, this is the biggest mistake that I've made. I waited way too long with asking for help and asking for guidance. I was the lone wolf. I was doing everything by myself. I don't know why I had this perspective that asking for help is weak, but this is the one thing that I regret the most. So I'll give you 2 examples as well. One personal one and one of my clients, because what I do with my workouts is I do hand balancing. So currently I'm training for the one-arm handstand. So when I was, like I shared earlier in the video, when I was doing all the transitions with 2 hands, I wanted to 10x my goal, which was the one-arm handstand. So this was the first milestone because I want to go beyond this. And this commitment was a 10x of my goal. This commitment was also a leap of faith because this required a completely different version of me to be able to do this. Devoting myself to creating circus level mastery, it requires a different level of commitment. So it was a scary commitment, but I did it. So I did the first 2 ways, which speed up your progress. But eventually I was running into wall after wall and I didn't know what I was doing wrong. The YouTube videos didn't help me. artificial intelligence didn't help me. Like I couldn't figure it out. So I just started to use force because this is my way to create. If I can figure it out, let me do more. And I was just pushing way too much. So I got injury after injury. And that's why it took me 2 years. 2 years of trying to figure this out. And of course, the time took even longer because I was injured. There were certain periods where I went 2 months without training handstand because of an injury in my elbow, in my wrist, in my shoulder. So eventually I said, I'm not going to figure this out. So this was even one of the goals where I think I am not going to figure this out by myself. So I got a coach, a master in hand balancing. He's also performing at the circus. And this is just incredible how it works. The first 3 months of working with him, I learned more about the one-arm handstand and the handstand in general than I did in 2 years trying to figure it out by myself. Only the first 3 months. Just imagine how much time I could have saved if I just committed earlier to asking for help, doing this together with a coach. 2 years of trying to figure it out, and I learned more in 3 months than I did in the 2 years. And of course, now I'm way further with him in the journey, and I'm learning so much. The progress that I'm making is so incredible. And that's also what gives you this vibrancy in life, when you see that you're making progress. And that's why having someone on your side that can pinpoint all the weak points, all the blind spots, all the things that you can't see, it is so powerful because now you don't have sporadically aha moments. Now you have them consistently every single week, and also very significant aha moments in the problems that are most important for you to solve. Just imagine what your life looks like if you have these aha moments consistently. So this is one personal example where I was waiting way too long with asking for help. And the second example is a client of mine. He works in a good job, so he earns a lot of money, but he wants to transition out of this and go into real estate. He wants to go into Airbnbs. This is something that he's very passionate about. He can put his creativity into this. And he shared with me when he was sharing the vision, I'm going to save up for 5-6 years, and then I have enough capital to start with the Airbnbs. And this is, of course, a reasonable argument, right? If we look at the terms and conditions or the conditions that people create, okay, I need to save up for 5-6 years, and then I'm going to start. It's very reasonable. But when I hear I'm going to wait for 5 years, like I'm not going to allow this to happen. So I played a little game with him. Okay, let's imagine that you would start right now. What would that look like? And within his answer, I could already notice that he did not know what to do. Even though he did the research, he was not clear on what steps to take. So I approached it from a different angle. Do you know anybody that is doing what you want to be doing? And he said, oh yes, I know 2 people. And both individuals, they are doing it full time, and one is even doing it at a big scale. And I told him, I challenged him, reach out to them. Reach out to them and ask for mentorship, for guidance, for advice. Nah, I can't do this. Nah, this is weird. Like, no, I can't ask for these things. And do you see that? What kind of rules are you operating by in life? I need to have this capital first. No, I can't send this message because it's weird. How much potential are you leaving on the table because you want to do the things that are socially acceptable in life? So when I was going back and forth with him on this, he could also see that he was scared to send a message because of the way that they would receive it, whatever the story was. And then he said, okay, let me commit to this. So on the same day, he sent the messages. Next day, he immediately received a response from one of the guys. Let's do it. Let's do our first property together so you can see what the whole process looks like, and we'll split the process, or we'll split the profits. He saved, and this is why this is so insane to me. He saved 5-6 years of his life trying to get ready before he could commit to this. And he sent one message. He got a yes. Now he gets to experience for free, of course it will cost time, what the whole process looks like. Just imagine how much time you could save if you ask for help, if you ask for support, if you get into that program, if you ask for guidance, sometimes for mentorship, sometimes you need to make a bold request like he did, and he got it for free. Just imagine what's possible, how you can speed things up in life. So especially if you combine these 3 ways together, that's where you create the most amount of progress. This is how you will achieve your goals faster. But like I said multiple times, it requires you to become very comfortable being uncomfortable. It requires you to be open to being challenged, to operate in that I don't know, to embody and experience all the fear that comes with it, and to be okay with that, and to navigate through it. This is what it is requiring of you if you want to achieve your goals faster. So thank you for watching the video. I'm curious if different ways came up for you on how you achieve your goals faster. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.